Good morning, students. Today we will discuss exercise 7.6, chapter integration. In previous class, we have started with the exercise that here we will be doing the integration of product of two functions, or if one function is there and we don't have direct formula to integrate, then we are doing the integration by the formula. What is the formula? Let me write down the formula here. It is integral of u into v, right? If we have this kind of integral where u and v are the functions of x only, then it is u as such integration of v minus whole integral derivative of u into integration of v, right? And here dx. So this big integral is having the product of two things, where the first term we are getting by the derivative of u, that will be our first function, and second term is coming by the integration of v, that is our second function, and u and v are decided by the formula I laid. I stands for inverse trig function, logarithmic function, algebraic function, trig function and exponential function. Now we will be solving sum number 6 here. And in sum number 6, we have two functions. One is x square and other is log x. So x square is our algebraic function, log x is logarithmic function, and according to I laid, L is coming before A. So our log x function will be, we will take it as first function u, and this x square will become our second function. Okay, so let us start the integration. This I have just written for you people, so that we can make the substitution in the formula. So here integral, it will be log x into x square dx. So this is u and this is v. So let us apply the formula. First function as such, integration of second function minus whole integral derivative of first function into integral of second function dx. This dx is for the big integral I. Okay, now everybody knows the integral of x square, we increase the power by 1 divided by increased power, this minus sign, integral as such. Derivative of log x, it is 1 by x, into integral of x square, it is x cube by 3 dx. Okay, so in under the second integral, first we have done the differentiation of log x, then integration of x square, and what we are getting, this is x cube log x divided by 3, this term is over. Okay, minus this x will get cancelled here, the denominator 3 we can take outside, 1 by 3, and in the integral what is left, it is x square. Okay, and again we know how to integrate x square, power rule we will apply. So it will be x cube log x divided by 3 minus 1 by 3, and the integration of x square is again x cube by 3. Now whole integration is over, plus constant of integration will come. So our final answer will be, if we want we can take 1 by 9 outside also, and what we will get here, 3x cube log x minus x cube plus constant of integration will be our answer. We can end the answer here also, that will be minus 1 by 9x cube, or if I take 1 by 9 common, then this will be our answer. So this is how we are applying our formula integral of uv, u integral of v minus whole integral derivative of u integral of v, and then simple integration is there and we are getting our answer, right? This is sum number 6. Now sum number 7, 8 and 9. Okay, in these three sums we have one function x and the other function is inverse trigo. Like in sum number 7, inverse trigonometric function is given sin inverse x. In sum number 8, it is given tan inverse x. In sum number 9, it is given cos inverse x. So let us do one sum from these three, so that you people can understand how we are proceeding with that sum. Sum number 7 we will discuss here. In sum number 7, our integral is integral of x sin inverse x. Now one is x function, algebraic, second is inverse function. So this is algebraic function, this is our inverse trig function, and according to I laid formula, I is coming before a. So this will be our first function u, and this x will become our second function v. Now if you notice one thing, whenever we are taking the function according to Eilert formula, like sine inverse I am getting here first function. If I don't take sine inverse x as the first function, if I take it as the second function, then what will happen? Let me show you. I am just going to the opposite of this formula. So if I take here sine inverse x into x, so sine inverse I am taking as the second function and x I am going to take the first function. Now when we apply our formula integral of uv, first function as such integral of second minus whole integral derivative of first function into integral of second function dx whole dx. Now x, there is no problem, integral of sine inverse, we don't have formula. Till now we don't have formula how to integrate sine inverse x. So the problem will come here, and once it is done, again integration. That is why this formula Eilert is made. So when I go according to this formula, automatically my sine inverse function is becoming the first function, and in the whole formula we are not integrating the first function, we are differentiating the first function here, first function we are keeping here. That is why this thing we will not do. Okay, we will take inverse trig function always as the first function in the integral. So let us go back to our main integral. Here the first function we are taking sine inverse x into x dx. So this is v and this is our u. If you are not if the formula of this integration by parts is not learned till now, then before the application of formula you can write down the formula to apply it. So u as such integral of v minus whole integral derivative of u into integral of v, right? This is the formula. So let us apply the formula. First function sine inverse x, it will come as such integral of x dx minus whole integral derivative of sine inverse x into integral of x dx. Okay, now this thing is done. We know integral of x, it will be x square by 2. We know the derivative of sine inverse x. What is the derivative of sine inverse x? It is 1 by root of 1 minus x square into integral of x, that will be x square by 2. Now all the things we know the integral of x, we know the derivative of sine inverse x. So let us do the next step. It will be sine inverse x into x square by 2 minus integral derivative of sine inverse is 1 by root of 1 minus x square into integral of x will be x square by 2 dx. Okay, now this 2 is constant, we can bring it outside. So what is left here? It is x square sine inverse x divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 we are keeping outside. Here we have x square upon root of 1 minus x square dx. Now here comes the next important step. We are having x square divided by root of 1 minus x square. One thing, we can go for substitution. I can put 1 minus x square as y, then this x square will become y plus 1, and when we are separating the terms we will be able to integrate. Or what is the next thing in this x square, because the denominator is also having x square. So here if I bring this minus sign inside the integral, this x square will also become minus x square, just like the denominator. Minus x square will be there, then I will add 1 and subtract 1 to make the numerator just like the denominator, and then we can apply our integration. This is the other method. Okay, now it's up to you people by which method you want to go for this particular integral. And because till now we are quite familiar with our substitution method, so without creating much confusion, I will mark this integral as I1 and then this integral I1 we will solve by substitution method. Okay, so this capital I we are writing as x square sine inverse x divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 I1. I am marking it as equation 1. So now we will solve this integral I1. So let us do that. So this is our integral I1, that is integral x square upon root of 1 minus x square. So let us make the substitution. We can do here, but there was some disturbance, sorry. So we were discussing I1 x square by root of 1 minus x square. So as I told, we will go for substitution and see if I put 1 minus x square as y, and then x square will become y minus 1 or y plus 1. But then since both are x square, then when I differentiate, I will get the value of 2x dx. But we don't have any 2x here. So problem will come again. So what we will do here, we will go for substitution, and what we will do, if I put here x is equals to sine theta, okay, then theta will become here sine inverse x, okay, and when I differentiate x, that means derivative of x dx, this will become equals to cos theta d theta. I am repeating, if we put x is equals to sine theta, here I will get sine square theta. In denominator, root of 1 minus sine square theta, that is cos square theta, and root of cos square theta means cos theta, and the value of dx will become cos theta d theta. So cos and cos will get cancelled. We will be left with integral of sine square. And as we have discussed in exercise 7.3, like using different trigo identities, how to simplify the function having higher powers of sine or cos, and then when we can easily do the integration. So what we will do, we are putting this thing, so our integral I1 will become here, it will be sine square theta divided by root of 1 minus sine square theta, and the value of dx is cos theta d theta. Okay, so what we are left with, it will be integral sine square theta divided by cos theta into cos theta d theta, that is equals to integral of sine square theta d theta. And in exercise 7.3 we have done how to integrate sine square theta. We have this identity like cos 2 theta is equals to 1 minus 2 sine square theta. So the value of sine square theta will become 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. So this will become equals to 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2 d theta. Okay, and this 1 by 2 is constant, we can bring outside, it is 1 minus cos 2 theta integral. And we know what is the integral of 1 with respect to theta, what is the integral of cos theta. So let us do the integration. It will be theta minus integral of cos is sine 2 theta divided by derivative of the angle 2 theta. Now integration is over, we will substitute back the value of theta, and it will become 1 by 2. This is sine inverse x minus sine 2 theta. Sorry, the derivative of 2 theta will be 2 only, not 2 theta. So let us make the correction here. Now this 1 by 2 is constant, sine 2 theta. Now we need the value of sine 2 theta. It means it will be, I can write it as 2 sine theta cos theta. So here it will be 2 sine theta cos theta. Why I am writing this thing? Because we have the value of x as sine theta and the value of theta is sine inverse x. But we have here sine 2 theta. So first of all, let us divide the angle 2 theta into the angle theta. So for that we are using the formula, and what is left, it will be 1 by 2 sine inverse x minus 1 by 4, or 2 and 2 will get cancelled, again 1 by 2 only. Now what is sine theta? Sine theta is x and it is cos theta. Now again one more thing we will be using here for this cos theta, how we will convert it. Now we have done here that x is equals to sine theta. Let me take you to right angle triangle here itself. If I say x is equals to sine theta, that means if this angle is theta, sine theta means perpendicular by hypotenuse. So this will be x, this will be 1. Then what will be the base? Base will become root of 1 minus x square. So if sine theta is x upon 1, what will be the value of cos theta? It will be root of 1 minus x square upon 1. So that will be the value of cos theta, and that cos theta we will substitute here, right? So I will write here 1 by 2. It is sine inverse x minus x into root of 1 minus x square. I am marking this step, and this we are using here the right angle triangle. From the value of sine theta, we are finding the value of cos theta with the help of right angled triangle. So this step is important. We will be doing this in other integrals also if needed. Okay, so the whole integration is over. We got the answer of I1 in terms of x. Okay, now this value of I1 we will substitute in our equation 1 where capital I was there. So we will write down therefore I is equals to, now what was I? Let us check in our previous page. So the value of I from the equation 1 was this. It is x square sine inverse x by 2 minus 1 by 2 of I1. And what is the answer of I1? This is our answer of I1. So we will put it here. It is sine inverse x by 2 minus x root 1 minus x square by 2 plus constant of integration. Now since integration is over, so here we will put capital C. You can simplify here also. It is x square sine inverse x, sine inverse x by 4. So if you take sine inverse x common, you can get the answer, and if you want you can leave the answer here also, right? So this was your sum number 7. I am repeating the steps how it is done. Let me take you to the previous page. We started with like this. We, according to Euler formula, we took sine inverse x as the first function and x will be our second function. So when we apply the formula, it will be first function as such, integral of x minus whole integral derivative of sine inverse x into integral of x. Now derivative of sine inverse x we have substituted, integral of x is also there, integral of x is done. So this part is over. One part of the integral is over. Second part we are having now, integral of x square upon root of 1 minus x square. So this thing we can go by two methods. One method that I am discussing here. For the other method we need one formula which we will be discussing in the next exercise. Okay, so once that exercise is done, you will get it how we can apply that formula also. So in order to get the answer, we are marking this integral as I1. Now we will solve I1 separately, and when we are solving I1, what we are getting here, if you notice one thing, we are having here integral I1 is x square upon root of 1 minus x square. So what we will do, we will go for substitution that we have learned in exercise 7.2 and 7.3. I will put here x as sine theta and dx will become cos theta d theta. So we have made the substitution, and after the substitution our integral is becoming sine square theta d theta. Now we know how to integrate sine square theta. We will use this formula to make the integral linear in terms of cos, and we know the integral of 1, we know the integral of cos, that integration is done. Now we will put back the value of theta. Theta was sine inverse x. Here we have sine 2 theta. I cannot say it will be sine 2 of sine inverse x. That will not give you the proper answer which you need. Okay, so I will first apply the formula of sine 2a, 2 sine a cos a. Now sine theta is x, here it is, and the value of cos theta. In order to find the value of cos theta, we are using our right angle triangle. Since x is sine theta, that means perpendicular by hypotenuse is x by 1. So this will be x, this will be 1. By Pythagoras theorem, the base will be root of 1 minus x square. So if sine theta is x, what will be cos theta? Root of 1 minus x square upon 1. So that value we are using here. whole integration is done, we will put back the value of I1 in equation 1, and this is our answer, right? Likewise, you people will do sum number 8 and sum number 9. Okay, so the next thing that we will discuss here will be now sum number 10. Sum number 10 is here. We have to find the integral of sine inverse x whole square dx. Now again, one thing, function is sine inverse x, for which we don't know the integration, and the moreover it is given the square of sine inverse x. So the better way to do this, I can't write sine inverse x into sine inverse x, then even I won't be able to apply my Eilert formula here. So what we will do, we will make our integral simple first of all. So for that, what we will do here, we will put sine inverse x as theta. That means the value of x will be sine theta. So when I differentiate here both sides, the value of dx will become cos theta d theta. I hope now you are getting it. Now in place of sine inverse x, theta will come, so it will become theta square. In place of dx, I will have cos theta d theta. So I will get product of two functions, theta square and cos theta, and we can apply our Eilert formula. So we will write down, therefore integral is theta square into cos theta d theta. Now according to Eilert formula, algebraic a is coming before t trigo. So this will be our first function and cos theta will be our second function. Okay, so let us apply first function as such, integration of second function minus integral derivative of first function into integral of second function whole theta. Now remember, if the function is in terms of theta, so when we are differentiating the first function, that will be with respect to theta only. Don't make the mistake here by writing d by dx of theta. That will become d theta by dx. So if the variable of integration is theta, we will differentiate here also with respect to theta only. Okay, so we know theta square will remain theta square. Integral of cos theta is sine theta minus integral derivative of theta is 1. This is sine theta d theta. Okay, so here almost sum is done, minus integral of sine theta d theta, because 1 into sine is actually sine only. So when we are doing the integration, it will be theta square sine theta minus integral of sine is minus cos theta plus constant of integration we will write. So we are getting theta square sine theta plus cos theta plus constant of integration. Now in this particular sum also, if you mention, we are having sine theta. Now what is sine theta? Sine theta is x. We are having theta and the value of theta is sine inverse x. Now we are having here cos theta also. So once again, as sine theta is x, with the help of right angle triangle, cos theta will become again root of 1 minus x square, as we discussed in the previous sum. So let me take you, or here it's also, if I draw the right angle here, right angle triangle here, this angle is theta. If sine theta is equals to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, it is given x equals to 1. So the base will be root of 1 minus x square. So cos theta will become root of 1 minus x square upon 1. Right. So let us substitute the values. Theta is sine inverse x. So here will become sine inverse x whole square. The value of sine theta is x plus it is root of 1 minus x square plus constant of integration, and this will be our answer for sum number 10. Okay, so the sums are easy. The only thing is we have to check like which function will be the first and second, and here since this is a special sum, square of inverse function, so if I have square of like tan inverse or some other function, then also we will go by the same thing. Okay, So sum number 11 is similar to one example. It is, I think, example number 20. You will be able to do sum number 11. And sum number 12, it is x into secant square x. So let me give you the hint for that. So let me give you the hint for sum number 12. We have x and secant square x, and according to Eilert formula A, so this will be our first function and this will be our second function. In every sum, I am explaining you how to take the function with the help of Eilert. I hope by this time you are able to get it. So first function x we will keep as such, integral of secant square x dx minus whole integral derivative of first, that is x, into integral of second, that is secant square x dx whole dx. Okay, now I hope everybody knows secant square x integral, it is direct antiderivative, because the derivative of tan is secant square, so the antiderivative of secant square means integral of secant square is tan x. So here also tan x will come, here also tan x will come, and the derivative of x is 1. So what we are getting, x into tan x minus this is 1 into tan x dx. Now we are getting x tan x. Almost sum is done. I was supposed to give the hint only, but the sum is quite small, and the integral of tan x. Now I think in exercise 7.3 or 7.4 we are given these four formulas, that where one formula is integral of tan x, and the integral of tan x, what is that? Log mod of secant x plus constant of integration. This will be our answer for sum number 12. I hope the sum is clear. With the help of Eilert formula and integration by parts we are doing, and our answer is there. One last sum that we will discuss is sum number 13. Sum number 13 is given, the function is given tan inverse x. Now problem is there is only one function. How will I apply integration by parts? And the next problem is I don't have direct formula to integrate tan inverse x. So what we will do to apply the integration by parts, I will write down 1 into tan inverse x dx. And what is this 1? 1 means I can say 1 I can write as x raised to power 0, and x raised to power 0 is algebraic function. It means this one is algebraic function and this is inverse trigo function, and according to Eilert formula, I is coming first, a is second. So our first function will be inverse trigo function, and this one will be our second function. So this is u and this is v. So let us apply the formula. First function as such, integral of second function minus whole integral derivative of first function into integral of second function, sorry, this is 1 only, not x, dx. Okay, so formula is applied, and everybody knows that the integral of 1 is x minus derivative of tan inverse x is 1 upon 1 plus x square, integral of 1 is x dx. Okay, so what we are left with, it is x into tan inverse x minus we are having x upon 1 plus x square dx. So here in the second integral, if you notice, the numerator is x, denominator is 1 plus x square, and we know if I differentiate 1 plus x square, the derivative is 2x. So here is only x, so I can make easily this x as 2x by multiplying and dividing by 2. So what we will do here, I will multiply and divide by 2. Now the numerator is the derivative of denominator. So which formula we will apply here? We have this formula, if I have integral f dash x upon fx dx, then this is actually equals to log of fx. Okay, so derivative upon function, it will be log of the function. So direct formula we will apply here, it will be x tan inverse x minus 1 by 2 log mod of 1 plus x square plus constant of integration. Now see, as we are moving from one exercise to the next exercise, the previous learned techniques, methods we are using. So here, which method we have used? First of all, substitution method. We are making the numerator as the derivative of denominator, and then from the substitution also we are getting this formula, and direct formula I am applying, because in this sum already one formula is applied. And here, if you want, by chance if you don't remember this thing how we are getting it, you can go for substitution by marking this integral as I1. Go for substitution, answer will be same. Okay, so this is sum number 13. I hope it is clear. Sum number 14, same way you will be applying Eilert formula to decide the function. So you people can easily complete your exercise 7.6 till sum number 15, and you have a good time to do all these sums, right? So in the next class we will discuss the next formula of this exercise. Thank you, students.